Alrighty. So what I want to do here is do a quick video about how to do some citing, to do a works cited, to do parenthetical citations using Google Docs' new feature that they just added. Let me see if I can screen share here so you can see it. In the citation generator. So let's say you're working on a document, your research report, whatever it might be. And let's say this is actually part of somebody else, another student who's graduated in previous years, research report. Let's say I have this quote right here, right? I have this website that talks about some kind of this is what's called warrior gene. Let's say I'm using it, like this student is here to talk about how people have some kind of genetic chaos programmed into them, or blah blah blah, right? Bottom line is I have a quote, I want to cite it. How do I do that? Now, it used to be that, like when I was in high school, we'd have to memorize the exact way to do it and type it in manually, but Google Docs has kind of solved that problem for us. So all you need here is to have your quote, which we do, done, and you need to have your website that you got it from. Okay, so let's look at this. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to Tools here in Google Docs and Citations, right? We're going to click on that. You're going to change this box over here if it's not already to MLA. If you're doing something else, for instance, for another like a college class or something, you can do it in APA or Chicago. It gets advanced for what we're doing here. We're just going to do MLA. And you're going to create a list of all the sources that you do. So let's say I have a series of websites, which you should have a series of articles, right? This being one of them. Anytime you get a new one that you quote, this is what you can do, and it will compile a list of them for you. So we're going to add a source. We're going to add this specific one right here that we're doing, all right? So it's going to ask you a couple questions. What type of source is it? Is it an article from a newspaper? Is it a website, journal article, book section, or a book itself? Let's say you're doing like Frankenstein or something. We're going to choose website, right? Because that's what we're using. We're using website. Access by a website, that stays the same. You're going to have to populate some information here. It will crunch the numbers and put it all together for you, but you're going to have to supply it with some stuff. So let's do the authors. First name, middle name, and last name is what we need. So we're going to look through this. We can see, okay, here's our article. Here is our author. I'm actually just going to literally copy and paste that into here. I'm going to have to make some changes though to make it fit. Tabitha M, and let's, whoops, copy just her last name out of it. Boom, done. Okay. If your article is not from a specific person who's writing it, but rather an organization who produces this, you would check this instead and it would change. But because we have an actual author, that's what we're going to do here. You can add contributors. That's something that gets a little more advanced. Sometimes you have an article or a journal that's written or contributed to by multiple people, and that's what that would be. But by and large, this is going to be what you kind of do. Now we need some more information. We need the title of the article. When this is title, it's the article. So literally, again, I'm going to copy and paste it right in. Website title is the next thing. The website is called Genetic Literacy Project. Boom, that's done. Publisher, this one doesn't actually have a publisher, but sometimes a website will have a larger organization who usually has their name stamped at the very, very bottom of the web page, who publishes that article, but that's not what we need here. We do need a URL link. So I'm going to copy and paste literally just the link. Done. So you get all that blurb in there. Then we're going to need some details about dates and times and things like that. So published day, published month, published year. Notice the asterisk next to this one. You don't need the other two specifically. If they're there, put them. If they're available, list them. If they're not there, you only need the year. Okay, so a good article will tell you when it came out, when it was written, when it was published, that kind of stuff. Then you see some more down here: access day, access month, access year. There are two different things here. Number one, these ones are what year the article was published, put out there to the public, right? These ones are what time, what day, what year you specifically accessed it, right? So let's look at these. What day was it published? This is July 29th, 2016, right? So let's publish this in. It's the 29th, July from 2016. right? And that's all you need there, right? Publish day, you don't need like Monday or whatever day that specifically was, just the number. Access day. Today, it's currently November 30th, 2020. So I'm going to put 30. I'm going to put November. Notice you do need the month on this one, and 2020, right? Then what you can do at the very bottom here is abbreviate the title of this article. So if your article has a super long title like this, right, you can abbreviate it. You can make it a little more simple. You can make it shorter. So because this one is called, it was talking about what's called the warrior gene, I'm going to call it, oops, the warrior gene. Right. Now, essentially, you can title it kind of whatever you want within reason, right? I look at this and I see what this is about. You can pick the keywords and use that as your title, right? That way you have a quick, easy way to remember what the title is. So once all that is in there, we're going to add this to the source, right? And so when you add it here, notice this is your entire source. It does get gunked up by this hyperlink. I'm gonna actually tell you not to use that because look how ugly it makes it. But instead, let's say you finished up the article, you're trying to do your MLA format stuff. At the end, let's do space here. We're doing a works cited. We're gonna click this button down here that says insert bibliography. So you're gonna pick where you want your bibliography to go. In this case, the start of a new page right here. And I'm gonna click insert. And boom, look at that. Not only does it do the font for you, it does the spacing, it does the line indentations, it puts your bibliography straight in there. In fact, if you add another source, let's say you have 10 articles that you found and you compile all of them right here on the side, you hit insert and you are done. All 10 of them are there, right? No matter how many you have there. And if you add more here, you can go back and insert it. Word to the wise, here's what I'll say. There is discussion over whether or not you need the hyperlink in MLA in the most recent edition. Some people say yes, some people say no. It's kind of just personal taste on the behalf of whoever is grading or reading your document, okay? I'm gonna say for Brainworks stuff, you do not need the link. This is cool and it allows me to go straight to the actual document. But that being said, look how muddled it gets with that. If we get rid of that, it's so much clearer, right? We have title, we have author, we have when it's published, we have where it's from, and it looks all nice, pretty, and professional, right? And that's going to be the way to do this. If I have another source, again, add source, let's say it's a website, then boom, I do it again, and I just keep going for any number of sources that I have. This is a super helpful tool. You used to have to go to other websites. You used to have to memorize this stuff, where you put the authors, where you put the periods, where you put the quotes. You don't have to do that anymore. This is a really good tool, and I suggest you use it to your advantage because this will help save you a lot of time.